What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Dysfunctionally Functional. So, this is my show and my life, and we have some real life issues going on right now. So, as many of you have heard, the dynamic between mothers and their oldest daughters is the tale of time, right? So, about 80% of those relationships actually work out. I have worked my ass off to break that chain with my children. And I can honestly say now that my daughter has decided to say some really crazy stuff, I'm actually going to read it because that's my prerogative. But as a mother, I am going to go through what it takes to get through something like this, how I actually am feeling right now, and let's just kind of go through it together because I'm not the only parent that's being told this kind of shit. I'm going to say shit because I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to break down what the points are. I'm going to break down what her issues are, and I'm going to actually reverse it. So when people project bad behavior on you, or they have some kind of negativity towards you, whatever the case may be, that is, in therapy across the board, that is always going to be, you are a mirror image. You are a reflection of something they have insecurities within themselves about. So, when people talk to you like this, in general, we get pissed off, we get defensive, we get antagonistic, we feel like we're backed into a corner, we throw things. I am not ashamed to say, I've said it on plenty of podcasts. I have 2 family pictures in my room that just recently, because of her, I just needed to smash some shit. So the pictures are still there, the frames are still there, just no glass. She bought me a really nice snow globe with an owl. Owls are my totem animal. Everything about me is owls. It was beautiful. She did this once before. This is repeated behavior, so it's kind of like this addiction to drama. But I wish my husband was here. He has decided that he is going to come on and podcast with me so that, one, not only our children, but other parents out there can understand that you don't have to play good cop, bad cop. My husband has always been the buffer between my children and I. Because, again, my intentions are always good, but my delivery always fucking sucks. I've never denied that. But where this daughter stands, as far as her fixing to say that everything that I say everywhere is a lie and blah, 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 we'll get into it. But everything that she is saying to me is so fucking ass backwards. Like, it is a complete and utter fucking reflection of how she feels and the insecurities that she has about her childhood. I have nothing to apologize for. I will let y'all know how I responded. And this is real life. So I've been given the opportunity to have my own radio show. Thank you, iHeartRadio. And this is real life. I wake up every morning and tell y'all what's going on. The good, the bad, the ugly. What's on my mind. So, let's get into it, right? So, backstory. 17-year-old, pregnant, high school. Scholarship at one hand, pregnancy test in another. Chose my daughter. Why? I had an abortion when I was 15. Regret it to this very second. However, was glad and thankful that I lived in America and had the affordabilities that I had back then, the what's the word that I'm looking for? The options I had back then that we do not have right now in this country, and that is sad. But the homie didn't come into the picture until she was 6. And if y'all 11, we will claim that. So, y'all always hear me say I love a good hater. Well, as a mother that has a platform, it is hard for my kids. And they each have, I came to each of them before I started all of this COVID major platform. I've always posted my life and been really public. And as they got older, they decided they didn't want to be that public. As they got older, they also decided that since I became an author and do this podcast and now radio show, that they don't want their names mentioned. They want their privacy, and that's great. So going forward, I know what opportunities I can and can't take. I'm going to take whatever opportunities are given to me. If the shoe fits, definitely. But definitely do everything to protect my family, my kids. They do not wish to be in the public eye, and I respect that 1,000%. They asked me to stop posting every single picture of their lives. I did that. Instead, I send them the pictures that I capture, and they can choose whether to post it or not post it. So, why is any of this important? Because everything that I do is calculated, it is meticulously thought out. Everything about my life, my schedule, everything is logistics. I'm probably planning shit in my sleep. All I do is plan stuff. Everything that I plan is to elevate my life, my husband's life, and what will eventually be our separation, because, you know, everybody does feel sorry for my husband, as they should. He married a lesbian. But for what it's worth, nobody's heard his part of the story yet. And no, I didn't coerce him into coming in here. We were actually going to do this last year on our anniversary when we were in Mexico, but we had Wi-Fi issues. So, because this is becoming such a ripcord in our family, we have decided to do this and actually tell our sides of the story together. So this will be a multi-part session, and it'll be recorded at night and uploaded at night because that's when he gets home and that's when we have time. So let's get into the story. Before I start this, in case she decides to hear this, she decided to listen to the one yesterday, and she's been stalking my life. You know how you can see when people are watching you and have you on instant notification? When I went to, just a little backstory, so 2 weeks ago, she was the maid of honor at her best friend's wedding. She was the nicest, sweetest. We had an amazing conversation where I, again, apologized. I'm not a person who apologizes, by the way. Y'all all know that. When I am apologizing multiple times and making the efforts, and I know that my husband's behind the scenes talking to her because we talk every single day, multiple hours a day, despite what my kids think. And it's not all about poor dad. They are hearing the narrative that they have collectively come up with together, with the exception of my son. My son is not on Team Sisters. It's Team Sisters against Mom. The brother stays out of it. He really, truly does not like drama and thinks that he has his own opinions about his sisters and their behavior. So, with that being said, when I came home and was getting ghosted, basically, by my daughter, I was sending her pictures where I got, at a wedding, the videographer and photographer and everybody that's paid to make this production go on, they focus on the bride. While they're going to get pictures of the bridal party and stuff like that, I wanted her to have a video of her speech. I wanted her to see her when she glowed the most, because she is someone who deals with a lot of insecurities within herself. Everybody does. So she can't say that I'm singling her out. But knowing this as a mother about your child, you want to capture and show them that their beauty does radiate. And that's why I take so many pictures of my family. That and the fact that my husband and I have busted our asses and done stuff that our children don't even know about to make sure that they always had what they wanted. Always. This one in particular, because she was my first. She was my why. She was my everything. And we did it together. Even though she wasn't doing anything but being a needy child. All children are needy, right? They're needy until they're not. And even when they think they're not, that's when they're needy the most. I'm talking about this adulting situation, right? They leave the house too early because they're mad. They hate their parents. They think they know all the answers. They get into the big bad world, and then they want to go home, but their pride steps in, and then they're stubborn. How do I know these things? Because it's a reflection of me. Actually, if I would have had the technology or not been afraid that my dad was going to knock my teeth down my throat, I would have said worse shit than what I'm about to read to my parents. I have said worse stuff to my birth vessel. But the difference is she is actually going to compare me to said birth vessel in this text for the first time in her life. That is something that 100% across the board, not one person, not even the man she sleeps next to, will ever fucking agree with. It is absolutely 1000% couldn't be further from the fucking truth. Again, yesterday, what did we talk about? Generation Y, Z, and millennials. They're ignorant. They stay on social media. They do they created a whole language for elder people, sub-tweeting, sub-texting, whatever the fuck that called. I've been calling that phishing since before MySpace, so you can go on with your dumb shit. You can call it whatever you want. First fish to hook is always the guilty one. I can call you out and make you look retarded as fuck if I want to. I used to be that person. And no, this is not a fake version of me, sweetheart. This is the healing version of me. But much like her sperm donor, they believe that I'm still this angry teenaged kid that just wants to walk around starting fires all over the place. And that's just not who I am. It's not. I raised my kids to be advocates. So here's her testimony to me. So again, she's going to talk a lot about being fake. I'm fake, all I do is lie, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. If I was lying, I would have been sued 1,000,000 times fucking over. That's why I have a legal team at the publishing house. That's why every publishing house has legal, insurance, GAAP, all that fun stuff. You cannot publish fictitious books or nonfiction books based on fictitious stories. You can't. It is illegal. Can I remind y'all of Depp versus Heard? Just saying. You cannot publish. I had to be very strategic in the way I wrote the book because I did not want to come off as a victim. I've never once claimed to be a victim of anything since I have started Dysfunctionally Functional. I actually write because I write in first person, yes, I am a victim at the time in that story, in that time frame that I am writing that story of my life. What was going on? Am I a victim now? No. I speak from a platform of survivalism. I am a survivor of the things that have happened to me. I actually